Welcome to Primetime. Hey everyone, it's Tim and welcome to my ranking of every movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. This iconic horror series, which first slashed its way onto the big screen in 1984, introduced us to Freddy Krueger, the razor-fingered dream demon who terrorized the teenagers of Elm Street. Over the course of 9 films, including Freddy's crossover with fellow horror icon Jason Voorhees, we've seen Freddy slice and dice his way through countless victims, delivering some of the most creative and memorable kills in horror history. But not all Nightmare movies are created equal. From the highs of Wes Craven's original masterpiece to the lows of, well, we'll get to that. The franchise has had its fair share of ups and downs. So grab your sleeping bags, make sure the closet door is bolted shut, and let's dive into the dreamscape as we rank every Nightmare on Elm Street movie from worst to best. Kicking off our list at number 9, we have Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, a movie that, ironically, almost killed my love for the franchise. The humor is embarrassingly out of place, Freddy's quips landing flatter than a pancake run over by a steamroller. Remember the Freddy we knew and feared? The one who haunted our nightmares with chilling menace? Well, he's gone on vacation, replaced by a caricature spouting lame one-liners. The plot itself feels as tired as a college student pulling an all-nighter, relying on tired tropes and nonsensical twists that make you question if the writers even watched the previous films. And the less said about the dream sequences, the better. Gone are the days of surreal, visually striking nightmares. Instead, we're subjected to dull, uninspired set pieces that feel more like a fever dream after a bad burrito than anything remotely scary. The only saving grace, the death of Carlos. It's brutal, it's creative, it's pure Freddy at his finest. But even that one shining moment can't salvage this cinematic dumpster fire. Coming in at number 8 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Dream Child. This installment, while certainly not as atrocious as Freddy's Dead, still suffers from a severe case of identity crisis. On one hand, it attempts to delve deeper into Freddy's backstory, exploring his origins and giving us a glimpse into the making of a monster. On the other hand, it gets bogged down by a convoluted plot involving Freddy's unborn child and a whole lot of dream logic that'll leave you scratching your head. The movie can't seem to decide whether it wants to be a terrifying exploration of Freddy's power or a campy, over-the-top gore fest. And honestly, it fails on both counts. The scares are few and far between, lacking the visceral punch of the previous films. However, it's not all bad. The special effects, while excessive at times, are still impressive, showcasing some of the most imaginative kills in the franchise. Overall, The Dream Child is a mixed bag. It has its moments, but ultimately it's a forgettable entry in the Nightmare franchise. At number 7, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge, a film that's as divisive as pineapple on pizza. Some love it for its homoerotic subtext and unintentional campiness, while others despise it for its departure from the original's formula. Personally, I fall somewhere in the middle. It's certainly not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's so bizarre and over the top that it's hard not to be entertained by its sheer audacity. This time around, Freddy's targeting Jesse Walsh, a teenage boy who's tormented by vivid nightmares of the razor-fingered killer. The film's blatant homoerotic subtext, whether intentional or not, adds another layer of intrigue to the story. However, the film's execution is often clumsy and uneven. Despite its flaws, Freddy's Revenge holds a special place in the hearts of many Nightmare fans. Coming in at number 6 is Freddy vs. Jason, the long-awaited crossover that pitted two of horror's most iconic slashers against each other. We've got Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees, the unstoppable killing machine. Who cares about plot when you've got two horror titans duking it out? The film is a non-stop thrill ride of blood, guts, and one-liners. The final showdown is everything fans could have hoped for. Freddy vs. Jason is a love letter to slasher fans. Landing in 5th place is A Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master. This installment picks up where Dream Warriors left off, with the surviving teens trying to rebuild their lives after their harrowing encounter with Freddy. however, Freddy's not one to stay buried for long, and he's soon back with a vengeance, targeting a new group of Elm Street kids. The Dream Master introduces us to Alice Johnson, a shy, introverted girl who discovers she has the power to control dreams. As Freddy picks off her friends one by one, Alice must confront her fears and embrace her newfound abilities to defeat the Dream Demon once and for all. The film is a visual treat, with some of the most impressive special effects in the franchise. Freddy's kills are more creative and gruesome than ever, pushing the boundaries of practical effects. However, the film's plot is a bit of a mess, with several subplots that go nowhere and a rushed ending that feels unsatisfying. Overall, The Dream Master is an entertaining but flawed entry in the Nightmare franchise. Coming in at number 4 is the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. This reimagining of the classic slasher film had a lot to live up to, and unfortunately it falls short in almost every way. The film attempts to modernize the story for a new generation, but in doing so it loses the heart and soul of the original. Jackie Earle Haley, while a talented actor, is miscast as Freddy Krueger. He lacks the charisma and menacing presence that made Robert Englund's portrayal so iconic. The film also relies too heavily on jump scares and gore, sacrificing suspense and atmosphere for cheap thrills. Gone is the dreamlike quality of the original, replaced by a bland, generic aesthetic that does nothing to distinguish the dream world from reality. The special effects are decent, and the young cast, which includes Rooney Mara and Kyle Gallner, does their best with the material they're given. However, these few bright spots aren't enough to save the film from mediocrity. Sliding into the number 3 spot is A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. This sequel is widely considered to be one of the best in the franchise, and well, for good reason. It takes everything that worked in the original and cranks it up to 11, delivering a perfect blend of horror, humor, and heart. Dream Warriors introduces us to a new group of Elm Street kids who are terrorized by Freddy in their dreams. Led by the resourceful Kristen Parker, these teens discover they have unique dream powers that they can use to fight back against the Dream Demon. The film is a visual feast, with some of the most creative and memorable dream sequences in the entire franchise. From Freddy's transformation into a giant snake to the iconic puppet sequence, Dream Warriors is a masterclass in practical effects and imaginative filmmaking. Kristen and her fellow Dream Warriors are a likable and relatable bunch, each with their own unique personalities and struggles. Dream Warriors is a horror classic, a film that perfectly captures the spirit of the original while also pushing the boundaries of the franchise in new and exciting directions. Coming in at number 2 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This meta-masterpiece marked Craven's return to the franchise he created. New Nightmare blurs the lines between fiction and reality. Heather Langenkamp stars as herself, haunted by nightmares of Freddy. She realizes the only way to stop Freddy is to confront him in the world of nightmares. New Nightmare is a clever and thought-provoking film. Craven's script is sharp and insightful. The film is visually stunning with effective imagery. Wes Craven's New Nightmare is a triumph of horror filmmaking. And finally, the number 1 spot goes to A Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. Yes, you heard that right. The original Nightmare on Elm Street is not only the best film in the franchise, but it's also one of the greatest horror films ever made. It's a film that's as relevant and terrifying today as it was upon its release. A testament to its timeless themes of fear, anxiety, and the power of the subconscious mind. Wes Craven's masterpiece tapped into our primal fears, turning the safe haven of sleep into a breeding ground for our darkest nightmares. Freddy Krueger, with his burned visage, razor-sharp claws, and sadistic sense of humor, became an instant horror icon, a boogeyman for the modern age. The film's influence on popular culture is undeniable. It's a film that continues to be studied, analyzed, and celebrated for its innovative storytelling, its unforgettable characters, and its enduring legacy. Well, there you have it, my ranking of every Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It's been a wild ride through the dreamscape, filled with iconic kills, memorable characters, and enough nightmare fuel to last a lifetime. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Do you agree with my ranking? What's your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more movie content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thanks for watching, and remember, whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Until next time, stay scared.